Hey everyone, Token Dave over here. I'm a dorky token black guy who's just trying to get by. And welcome back to the Godzilla Garage, where I exclusively talk about Godzilla and Godzilla related content. I won't front, I'm not a fan of the Millennium Era. Of the original three eras of Godzilla movies, yeah, the Millennium Era is very low on my list. But damn did I throw some shade on the Millennium Era recently. So, to basically rectify or, display that I am not one to just drink a tall glass of haterade and not acknowledge everything. I figured, why don't I just make this video and give credit where credit's due and talk about the good things the Millennium Era did. First and foremost, the Millennium Era gave me my favorite Godzilla design. The Godzilla 2K design, or the Millennium Godzilla design, which was on display in Godzilla 2000 and Godzilla vs. Megaguirus. I love that Godzilla suit. That Godzilla suit is awesome. It shows Godzilla being monstrous, being destructive, and actually giving us a breath of freaking fresh air. And I wish that suit was on screen more often. And while it's not the very same design or the very same suit that was used in the latter movies, you could still tell that, with Godzilla Against Mechagodzilla and Godzilla Tokyo SOS, they used some aspects of that design, but, there was a lot of good that was done with that. So I have to give the Millennium Era that credit. Speaking of my favorite Godzilla design, the Millennium Era also gave me my favorite interpretation of Mechagodzilla, Kiru. I love Kiru. The Kiru design, is awesome. It not only looks very robotic, but it also looks more menacing as well. And to top it off, a bit of a better clone or robotic clone of Godzilla. Now, with incorporating Kiru and the design of Kiru and the idea of Kiru, that goes into another point. This era is actually a lot more creative. Like going back to Kiru, the idea of using Godzilla's bones to actually be the skeleton for Kiru, that's an interesting idea. I give them props for that. I also give them props for, making basically, the idea of generating and creating a black hole as a weapon. Awesome idea there. Bringing back like a beloved character like Mothra in a modernized way is also a good idea. And to top it off, basically, giving the whole era, more scientific creativity, making these movies a lot more sci-fi than they were, or just basically like giant destructive monster movies, or dark humor or dark dramas. Going on a more sci-fi route, I give them more credit for it, and they did the science fiction very well. So definitely the creativity was high in the Millennium Era. The kid characters were actually very good. I personally feel most Godzilla movies, when they incorporate kid characters, I am not one of those people that automatically hate on child actors, but I will understand why people get annoyed with them. But unlike the Showa era, and unlike the Heisei era, when they incorporated youth characters, they actually were not boring, and they either basically played an important part in the movie, or their depth was basically, understandable, decent range, and it wasn't aggravating or annoying, So I gotta give the Millennium Era that props. But not only did the Millennium Era did great child characters, and if you need examples, look at Ito from Godzilla 2K. She was an important part of her father's operation. Sada in Godzilla against Mechagodzilla, great drama and great life lessons, and her chemistry with, Akane and her father was actually really good and really genuine. And Shun Chudo, Shun actually basically called Mothra. And, not many people could say that they actually communicated with a kaiju in order to help save the city. So, yeah, I I enjoyed these child characters. But that goes in the segue into the human characters overall. In this era, there was a good balance, and the human characters were a lot more memorable. We got not only Ito from 2000, we also got Katagiri from 2000, which, well, let's be honest, not only was he a cool character, but he had one of the most badass death scenes. We also have the Major in Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, who actually basically was a badass enough to ride Godzilla. We got Akane, who is actually my favorite Millennium Era character, and we got basically Yojiro Chujo, in Tokyo SOS. So we got a lot of human characters that are very memorable and very impactful on this series. And to top it off, they actually drove the story forward more. And to be honest, I actually was more engaged with the human characters in the Millennium Era as opposed to, the other eras more so. Which finally gives into my final reason. The Millennium Era, the stories were actually, not only more creative and more moving, but they actually felt more interwoven. It's not just, okay, hurry up and get Godzilla on the screen. You were actually basically brought into the stories a lot more, and this goes into the creativity. It was improved, but the stories, I actually enjoyed the stories a little bit more, and the performances and how they were interwoven and executed was done a lot better. So those are my my good qualities of the Millennium Era. You agree? Disagree? Drop me a comment below. Give me your thoughts. Give me a like. Follow me on Facebook at Token Dave or on Twitter at Token Dave 80. Subscribe. Ring that bell so you know when new video loads. But until then, this has been Token Dave, dorky token black guy who's just trying to get by. And I'll catch all of you later.